Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, let's talk about front ends. All right, so front ends, when it comes to trading systems, is really important for convenience and to really see yourself where you want your system, your trading system, specifically your automated trading system, where you want to see it in the next 3 to 5 years. I just put up a video, or will be putting up a video, on how I think PCs, traditional desktops, are pretty well close to dead from a consumer point of view. So we got to address that. I've already addressed it. I think what we know as desktop applications, meaning monolithic, gargantuan apps at like 5 gig, 10 gig. I mean, these are beyond monster applications. So that's going to change the whole dynamic of how, I guess, trading systems will evolve over time, specifically when you start moving into automated trading. So if you've been following me now for, let's say, the last 4 or 5 months, I've come across and resisted Python, the programming language, and I love Python. I think one of the big advantages with Python is the ability to take your code and then port it into a web front. Well, lo and behold, I thought that was easy to do when I first started it, using something like Qt Designer, and I start digging further and further into it. It ain't so easy, and the option I was using was obsolete. So that led me to like going, damn, this thing's no good for me. So I started thinking, well, let's look at the options of Python. How can I enable my code, my Python coding scripts, be web enabled? Well, my only options are to use something like IPython, the notebook. Well, that's fine if you're doing research and you want to evolve and do all your coding through a web. You can always do that through IPython. It's built for that, and that's great. But when you want to start working with live charting, being able to visualize your orders, your positions, you need to recode everything into one of, from what I gather, the popular Python web frameworks. We're talking Django, we're talking Flask. Now I've looked at them, and I've looked at Flask, and I was like thinking, well, Flask is like, I've seen it everywhere online, and like I think it's big. It's not. One of the sources that I came across was Django is something like 5 times bigger than the other one, Flask. So you're really back to the option of Django, and that's the one you should use. Then it came back and said, well, Django's slow and blah, 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 blah. But here's my option from my point of view. I don't want to have to relearn another web framework for Python. So I do my charting visualization presentation to my Quant Elite members. I thought, okay, there's some great packages available for Python that can be deployed using Qt or Qt Designer. Great, I'm up and running, and I can even deploy it into a web front. You can't do that. It's not so easy. So because of things like that, that stopped me dead in my tracks. So I thought, what can I use that's convenient and easy to use for web fronts? So here's some of the options that I found specific for trading, and that look really cool. The first one is, it's going to shock you, is the best one to use is something called WordPress. Like, no one would ever think about this for using as a trading front. But here's why I say WordPress, and you can now put yourself back in your chair, because I'm sure you fell out when you hear this. But here's how I think. I've got a community of about 15,000 people. I got 1,000 people that visit my website a day. Now, listen to the word I just said, website. What's the website built on? WordPress. Okay, so I'm thinking, God, it's a web front. I can take my website using the template that I use for WordPress, and not have to worry about rendering for whatever device, be it through a desktop, through an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. The template takes care of that for me, so I shield myself from those complexities. Number one. Number two, let's say with my community I decide to do something like I want to raise capital. Okay, then I have investors. I have external investors. They're like external clients. Well, Now I have to worry about building out web fronts for them to access because they're not going to download some program I give them because they may not ever be running on a PC in 5 years from now, as I said in my previous video. So we are forced to work with the world of apps or web fronts like using a browser. So it comes back to my choice of, well, we have the Django, let's say, versus WordPress. As I said, I don't want to have to go out and relearn the Django. It would take me another 3-6 months to get my system up and running, whereas I can use WordPress because I know it. I've worked with it for what, 5+ maybe 10 years. I know it well, and it's a nice plug and play front end, not just for blogging. It's a lot more than that, and I'm going to show you why. Now, the first package for charting I'm going to show you all done in JavaScript, and I almost like barf at the thought of JavaScript. But the way that these packages appear, let me underline that and reiterate and make it crystal clear. Appear, because I'm not really sat down with this thing and played with it, which I will do in a week or two. And this may change my opinion 2 weeks later, but I'm just giving you my point of view today, May 1st, 2016, right there, so that you understand that this is how I may take it, okay? So let's say you do WordPress, okay? I can easily deploy and set up a WordPress blog locally on my system on an Ubuntu server, and it's easy. You can download things like servers like WAMP for setting up a Linux, like they call them LAMP. You get Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. LAMP, that's what it stands for. But WAMP, Windows, or MAMP for Mac. So we have these concerns to worry about. So you can deploy and meet those requirements easily. Just downloading these WAMP servers. If you're Mac, you can do a MAMP, or then LAMP itself. And on top of that, you can fairly easily install WordPress locally, okay? Or if you're so worried about it, you can go to a web hosting provider, and they will enable you. If you look for something called I think it's called Scriptalicious, something like that. Let's see what it comes up with. Scriptalicious turnkey scripts, PHP scripts. And so you can easily download one of these for WordPress. Okay, so you come under blog, and somewhere in there should be WordPress. Well, maybe. Oh, here we go. Scripts. Somewhere in here, WordPress. I'm sure will be in here. WordPress integration. It's everywhere. You cannot avoid WordPress. Okay. So maybe let's say if you're using VirtualBox like I'm using here, you want to download a WordPress application. What do they call it? Appliance? Let's see. We download an appliance, turnkey appliance, WordKey appliance. Let's see what we can find here. There you go. Turnkey, new Linux. Maybe this one. Oh, they're the same. Okay, let's see what this brings up. So you can literally download a turnkey WordPress appliance, whatever version of WordPress this is, and get WordPress running right on your virtual machine using VirtualBox or whatever. It's that easy. And that's one of the big reasons why I love WordPress, okay? Because of these abilities to get yourself up and running where you have to relearn the Django, let's say, with Python, okay? So this is why I'm like really leaning towards WordPress at this point. So where do we go from there with the charting? Well, we have two choices because it's JavaScript. We have HighCharts, which I've talked about. Let me explain it. So we have HighStock, which is kind of a subset of HighCharts. So you get all these cool charting, very powerful, candlestick, all this stuff. Plus, you get the HighCharts itself. Okay, so you get all these cool charts, I guess. But the licensing for this thing is not easy, okay? Let me show you what I mean. If you come under pricing, shop, okay? This is like, if I want high stock, if I go buy, you look at this. It's $1,000 friggin', okay? $5,000. And then there's a single developer license. I think it's this one I would probably end up getting. But look, no maintenance and support. Like, are you serious? You're asking me to spend $800 and you're not going to give me maintenance and support? And you're only going to give me 10 hours of support. That's obscene. But thankfully, we have something called AMCharts. And now this I really kind of dig, because here's one specific for stock charting. Read more and check it out. Some very cool charting, blah blah blah. We've done a million analysis on those. But look at this. This is the one that sells me right there. AMChart plugin for WordPress. So you set up your WordPress blog locally. You can put it remotely on a server. You secure it, because I'm sure everyone's going to go, well, what about the security? Believe me, man, you can get security easily. I'm using a service called Security. I spent $200-300 a year. My site did get hacked, and I haven't had a problem since. It's pretty hard to hack when you got security, and you can add on another level security service as well if you want. Okay, so you can do all that, and security is not a big concern. And if it's really a really big problem, there's so many ways you can deploy WordPress on a Linux box to make it secure. You can do it locally. You can put it on a remote server. You can do it on a internet-enabled web server through a traditional web hosting company. Okay, so there are those advantages, and with WordPress, it's much easier now. So now that we know that we can somewhat do this capability in WordPress through this WordPress plugin, I'm game, okay? Because here's some of the cool things that you can do with. First, let's talk about price, because now remember, I showed you the price of our friends over at HighStock. They want me to spend $1,000, and let me reiterate this. There is no technical analysis, anything with HighCharts, HighStock, nothing. You cannot do, let me repeat that, you cannot do technical analysis. That is pitiful for that kind of money. But when you compare the licensing for AMCharts, here's the cool part. You spend this, plus it looks like you also get JavaScript charts, which I'll show you in a minute. And you're only spending $280. Now, the kind of license you get, it depends on what I want to do. But it enables me to put it on a domain, on a public site, no problem. So for $280, I can do that, which is awesome. Let me get rid of that. Bye-bye. So I can run, what I'm going to show you, the capabilities of both JavaScript charts and Java stock charts for $280 and run it on one site. Here's the caveat. If I decide to enable it for my own members, because now I'm going to have authentication, well, there's user authentication for my website. Now I have to move up the license to, I guess, this one, $1,800, which may sound expensive, but if I choose to go that route, those are my options, okay? And again, let me take you back to our pricing, okay? Of, $1,000, $4,500. It's getting pricey with HighCharts and HighStocks. And this is just HighStock. Does not include HighCharts, I don't think. You see anywhere? Do you see HighCharts? I don't think it includes it's outrageously priced. Okay, so I'm down with okay to spend $1,800 if it enables me, if I need to do this with web authentication for my members. I'm okay with that, but I can also do it like on the cheap for free for anybody who wants to see my charting. So I don't know yet. That's too early days. But let's talk about AMCharts and what it can do for you. Now again, I don't work for any of these companies. I'm just showing you what I see. Now, I've also, remember, this JavaScript stock charts includes Java charts, so you're getting both for $280. That is very affordable, very reasonable. Here's the stuff you get. That's cool. Let's check out some demos. Now, this one kind of sold me right here. Now, I'm planning to do more live stuff, but check this out. Here, let's do this, and now I can draw trend lines. Nowhere close to doing that with high stock, or HighCharts. Can't do stuff like that. Simple stuff like that for $280, it's pretty good. And I do believe it includes some basic technical analysis stuff. Where's my features? There is. Maybe it's under somewhere. Maybe I guess it's somewhere in here. It's buried somewhere here. I think it does include some basic technical analysis stuff, but it's not a deal breaker for me. But you know, I'm not sure if this is live charting as well. I would like to know. But okay, let's check out some demos here. Okay, I think we can multiple panels, stock events. This is cool. So if you got annotations, you can do this. Cool. But it would be nice if they have the ability to add technical analysis capabilities, RSI, ATR, things like that. You know, those are kind of important to me. Let's see what else there is. Multiple panels, I couldn't figure what that is. This one, again, the big factor that will be a drawback is sources. Where does the source of the data come from? Well, I know HighCharts, for my research, you can somehow feed data from MongoDB, which is great because that is an option I have to feed data from MongoDB to build the data and push data into it using MongoDB. I prefer, honestly, to do Redis, but for these kind of web front ends, it doesn't really matter. So speed is not really a factor for visual. So back to AMCharts. Now, there's a couple of things that, because you're including now JavaScript charts, there is some capabilities that are important to me. This one right here is where's my gallery? Maybe it's this one. Boy, oh boy. Demos, charts, and maps. Maybe it's this one. Okay. Yeah, this one's the important one for me. Because, to be honest, this is going to be a big factor in one of my upcoming strategies where I need to show a histogram and a price line. So that's covered off. Bonus. Somewhere in here are my candlestick, which I kind of dig. Trend lines we like those. But I think, where are you? But you can see some of the capabilities here. It's quite good, actually. I don't care about pie charts. What are we looking at here? There is candlestick somewhere in here. Yeah, I can do this candlestick. Here we go, professional candlestick. So there you go. Just as good as anything else. I tried this on my iPad. It can kind of work. Yeah, I think these are going to be really helpful. And again, because they enable this plugin with WordPress, I'm assuming you could take any of these charts, and dump them into the plugin and WordPress, and then voila, you have it on your WordPress. That's pretty powerful. And there's not a lot of coding needed to be done with that because that's the beauty of WordPress. So I'm kind of playing with the idea. There is another one. Let me just do a Google on that called TechCan. I think it was called TechCan D3, something like that. No, it doesn't matter. But there was one that is using D3 JavaScript charting, and yeah, so there's that, and a lot of options using these JavaScript charting libraries. But right now, as a front end, I'm looking, honestly, I'm really looking at WordPress now. And as crazy as that may sound at the beginning of this video, hopefully I've kind of maybe indirectly sold you on it to deploy in a web environment. And again, and I keep saying, you can develop your own WordPress installation and have your own little intranet to serve up on any device through the internet. It's just a lot more versatile without having to redo and relearn, like probably most likely a more complicated web front framework like the Django. But I think WordPress is probably more intelligent from where I'm sitting and my level of expertise in this area of WordPress. And I'm just more comfortable with WordPress. So hopefully that will kind of convince you. And even if you don't believe me or don't agree with me, who cares? We all live our separate lives. But just thought I'd put that together for you. Hopefully you enjoyed this little video. Have a good day.